When you think MSI, you mostly imagine high-end specs and the most powerful of gaming laptops, but MSI also makes budget gaming units with modest specs for gaming laptop. It's their GL series that comprises of such machines, and the one we have here, the MSI GL63 9RDS, is one of such units. Since it's only recently launched, it's only limited to some regions as of now, but we do get this here in Nepal for a price of Rs 1,45,000. And that price probably would be equal to some $900 to $1,000 maybe US. So what does this laptop pack for that price, and is it worth it? Let's find out after this B-roll. Now for this kind of price, you might be thinking it is bound to have some compromises, and you're not wrong really. It actually features the latest 9th Gen i7-9750H, which is the best i7 processor till date. And it gives you a 10% boost over the i7-8750H, which is a considerable upgrade. To pack such high performance for the price is great, yes, but the compromise here lies in the graphics department, because this laptop here only comes with a GTX 1050 Ti. And that is a kind of bottleneck in its part, because while the laptop is capable of running processor-intensive apps like Adobe Premiere Pro, Photoshop, Lightroom and such without much hiccups, gaming takes a major hit. GTX 1050 Ti might have been a middle-of-the-line graphics card back in 2018, but right now it's outdated, and even though you will be able to play most games in it, you'll have to do it in the modest of settings. Games like Battlefield 5 was playable in medium settings and gave me about 40 to 50 frames per second on average. While the game is playable, that's all we can expect from the 1050 Ti. As for Apex Legends, it was playable in medium settings in the same frame rates of 40 to 50. So you have to stick to games like CSGO to get frame rates over 100 in high settings. And here the GPU is clearly the bottleneck, because while gaming, the GPU is running at max, while the CPU is barely around 20%. So this gaming laptop actually does other things better than gaming, which is odd, but given the choice of GPU, it is to be expected. But what is good is that even during long hours of gaming, it didn't really heat up all that much, maybe because it's the fairly low CPU usage compared to the GPU, but it's safe to say that you'll rarely face heating problems. I never really had to turn on the cooler boost fans on during my usage. However, even without it, long hours can stress your GPU and give off some throttling. So this laptop is more of a heavy workhorse laptop than a gaming one. You could do video editing and content creating, but that is again limited by the choice of the panel, because what we get here is a 15.6-inch Full HD display with a TN LCD panel. And that makes for not so good viewing angles and slightly above average color distribution and accuracy. So the screen becomes the bottleneck for content creation, again. However, that screen is more than enough for gaming or your regular consumption of media too. Besides the viewing angles, other aspects in the media consumption department is okay. The display has considerable bezels around it, but so does every other gaming laptop in this price range, so it's okay. As for the design, the MSI GL63 9RDS follows your typical budget gaming laptop design, which is very similar to the MSI GL63 8SE. It is big, kinda bulky, and the build is plastic. With that build, the weight is at 2.2 kg, which feels like the standard weight for a gaming laptop of this caliber and build. The top lid has a smooth matte finish, but this one attracts very less fingerprints, and even then, the finger smudges are not clearly visible. The rest of the design footprint is still the old classic MSI. You have two air vents at the back and both sides of the body. The lid has two red stripes which do not glow, and the MSI Dragon Shield which glows when turned on. Nothing new, and even inside, the design remains unchanged. You get the standard keyboard layout with extra keys on top for the cooler boost fans and the Dragon Center. Even with the plastic build, there is very less flex on the keyboard deck and surrounding areas, but the lid does flex quite a bit. Maybe it is prone to some durability issues, especially on the lid. And another thing is, you can't open the laptop single-handedly, which is very important for some people. So this is something that gives a gaming vibe but doesn't scream gaming like others, and there's nothing fantastic about it either. This just seems like an old MSI laptop with a new processor. But what MSI gaming laptops do great is the selection of ports. You get plenty of them: 3 USB-As, a USB-C without Thunderbolt 3, a mini display port, an Ethernet port, an HDMI, an audio in and audio out, and an SD card slot. Another good thing about this laptop is the loudspeakers. MSI's giant speakers make their presence here as well, and the giant speakers are plenty loud. Even with the fans running on full throttle, you can hear music videos or game sounds fine. But these loudspeakers are prone to some distortion in very high volumes. Let's move on to the keyboard now. This is your SteelSeries keyboard, so you know what to expect. But being a budget gaming laptop, you only get red backlighting and you can't program the keys lighting either. There are 4 levels of backlighting, however. But still, SteelSeries keyboards are decent in this price range. Keys are soft but provide good tactile feedback. There's the right amount of mushiness to it and ample key travel. Overall, typing experience and gaming is good enough, though not as good as on some higher-end other MSI gaming laptops. However, you can't say the same for the trackpad. Not the worst trackpad I've ever used, but this one right here is a serious compromise on MSI's part. Tracking is okay, but sometimes can take a lot of effort. Scrolling with it is a pain in the neck, and gestures are a hit or a miss. Sometimes they work, and sometimes it takes some more coercion. So do yourselves a favor and use an external mouse. As for the storage, you get a 128GB NVMe PCIe Gen 3 SSD and a 1TB hard drive. The SSD is pretty fast as well, giving close to 1500 Mbps of read speeds and about 400 Mbps of write speed. It's not the fastest, but more than enough. Of course, the 128GB might not be enough, so you have to stick to having only Windows and the most important of software in there. For the rest of it, you get the 1TB hard drive, so there are no problems regarding the storage here. In terms of memory, there's 8GB of RAM, but only in a single channel. 8GB is enough for the most part, given the kind of gaming you'll be able to do on this laptop, but even if you want to upgrade, you do have a second slot though. The battery is not the strong suit of gaming laptops, and not this one either. You get a small 41 Wh battery which will last you like 2.5 hours on normal usage, but maybe close to an hour of gaming, so you'll have to carry your charger around if you're taking it places. The MSI GL63 9RDS to me looks like a strange combination of parts. It's targeted as a gaming laptop, yes, and they certainly have the CPU for it. But they compromise major on the graphics card, which actually bottlenecks even the CPU in terms of gaming. And if the aspects like display were better, you could turn it into a content creator's laptop too. However, the screen is not good enough for that. So what this laptop essentially is a workhorse on the most part for those who need to do some heavy lifting like MATLAB or do a lot of programming or maybe 3D modeling even, with some occasional gaming in there. Honestly, for a price of Rs 1,45,000 in Nepal, I applaud the choice of the CPU, but I would have been happier with an 8th gen processor but a better graphics card, at least an RTX 2060 or maybe a GTX 1070 even. So this is not your mainstream gaming laptop, but a quite powerful one though. So that was it for our review of the MSI GL63 9RDS. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe to our channel. Thank you for helping us get to that silver play button. Keep supporting us, guys. Thank you.